Hello YouTube, welcome to my channel. Today I've got kind of a special bot to review. It arrived yesterday and it is Titans Return Siege on Cybertron Pounce. Yeah, one of the new clone bot molds that they're doing for the Titans Return line, which was one of the exclusive figures that was released in these two gift sets that they've recently released, which is the Siege on Cybertron and the was it Chaos and Velocitron set, where you get was it Fastclash, which is a rename, which is going to be Clone Bot Fastlane. Anyway, so yeah, I've managed to pick up this guy. Now, I didn't buy the whole set, so you're probably wondering how the hell's he got hold of this when it's only available at the moment as part of a multi-pack. Well, story behind that is I know a little eBayer who I've known for quite a while, and I've bought a few things off him. And what he does occasionally is he buys these gift sets, these multi-packs with all these repainted figures in, and then he splits them up and sells the figures separately. Now, I've done it before. I got my Breakout Battle Optimus Prime from him. That was from the Age of Extinction Breakout Battle set. And I also got my repainted Hound, which was from the Autobots United set. Or was it the United set that they also did? Which basically had a set of five Autobots all repainted into more accurate paint schemes. So I got those from him, and his name's Animetropolis. So if you want to look on eBay, check up Animetropolis. He sells loads of stuff. His prices are a bit sort of up and down. Some stuff is cheap, some stuff is expensive, but occasionally he does this thing where he gets the multi-packs in and sells the bots separately. I got Pounce here for 35 quid, which is pretty steep for the size of the bot that he is, but I really like him. But before we get into the figure itself, a little bit of a history lesson. Anybody who's not a mature collector might not know what the clone bots is about. Well, back in 1987, during the G1, they released 2 packs of bots, 2 Decepticons, 2 Autobots. They were called the clone bots, and the whole point of them was, in robot mode, they look virtually identical, yet they transform into completely different alt modes. So you had the Autobots was Fastlane and Cloudraker. So one turned into a kind of a car, the other turned into like a jet. And then for the Decepticons, you had Pounce, which this guy is a homage to, and Wingspan, who transformed into a kind of an eagle. But just recently, obviously, as part of the Titans Return line, they're rehashing a lot of the old G1 characters, giving them new leases of life, new moulds, a little bit more love. And Pounce got released as in this box set. And again, before we get into the review, just been announced in the last couple of days that Titans Return are doing twin packs of the clone bots, because obviously they went to all the trouble of making a brand new mould for this guy in Fastclash, but you wouldn't go to all the trouble of making a brand new mould and then only use it in a limited edition multi-pack, would you? In order to make the mould pay for itself, you've got to thrash it to death and get as many models out of it as possible. So they're actually doing, thankfully, they're doing the double packs with the 2 figures in, the 2 Autobots, the 2 Decepticons, and that announcement has literally come out in the last couple of days. Anyway, so I managed to get this guy, and he's awesome. He's really, really neat. Now, obviously, this is his alt mode. It's a kind of a cat. It's quite a big, chunky cat, like a big cat. I think it's supposed to be like based on a tiger, perhaps, because they're fairly big and chunky. It's got nicely moulded head, and then obviously you've got the front legs and the back legs, and it's even got a little tail. Articulation on this mode is half decent. The front legs are hinged, so they go all the way around. You've got a knee bend which folds right up for part of the transformation. Now the front legs are on this shoulder joint, so you've got a little bit of movement going out like that, but obviously the arms, which are tucked up underneath the alt mode, they come out with it as well. Then moving to the back, you've got the back legs, obviously they're you can see they're on the robot legs, so you can hinge them out, you can do them back, and you can get a little bit of motion on the back leg. And then you've got the tail, which is on this hinged flap at the back, gives you a little bit of motion. So you've got some motion on his alt mode. Decent looking thing. Shame he hasn't got an opening mouth, but then again, with it being a Legends class figure, which I will go to in a bit, it's a bit small, and so they haven't had the opening mouth, which is a shame, but it's just the way it is. But it looks like a cat. Decent colours. Obviously most of the robot colours are hidden away inside. You have got this prominent pink patch on the back, which you don't see so much in the robot mode. Nicely painted orange eyes, and obviously it's got some colours on the back, but very decent, very neat little cat mode. Now the transformation on this guy is really simple but very fun. Obviously you can start by flipping the head back, taking the tail, folding it up. Now you can fold it up like that, or you can have it left down, but when we get into robot mode you'll see what I mean. Then get the cat legs, fold them up. Then you take the arms and butterfly them out, and then around the back you just fold in, so it gets a nice compacted backpack that all folds together really nicely. The legs, you then fold up the cat feet, and then twist the legs to face forwards, and then finally you just turn the head round, and there we have Pounce in his robot mode. And what a neat little bot he is. He's a fantastic little bot. Love the colours on this turquoisey colour they've used, absolutely fantastic. Decent paint apps. Obviously he's got the white and the yellow down here. He's got a Decepticon symbol down here. Now he does have the cat logo, which almost looks like a Thundercats symbol, on his chest, but they've painted it in this really, really dark plastic. I mean, on the originals it had two rub symbols. You had a rub symbol down here for the faction symbol, and then you had a rub symbol which basically showed an icon to say whether it was, you know, it was the cat or the bird. But it's very dark, you can't really make it out. Now when they did the CGI renders for this figure, it showed it up as being a lot brighter, but that's a change they've made to the mould. Yeah. Now he's got a nice face sculpt. It's a bit plain, but he's got nicely orange painted eyes. Decent paint apps all around. Really cool looking figure. Great to play with, great to pose, and articulation. The head is on a swivel, so it goes from side to side. The shoulders are on a ball joint, so they go out to there. They will go all the way around. Obviously it does hit the legs on the backpack a little bit, but they will go all the way around. Now one thing that I find quite unusual about this is obviously, oh, I've got to turn the arms forward. He's got ball jointed elbows, which on a smaller figure is kind of a given thing on like Legends or Legion class figures. They mostly have ball joints because they offer a great range of motion and minimal engineering. But they do look a little unsightly because you've got this big ball thing sticking out the front. However, this guy he's got upper bicep swivels. And when you turn the arm, when you swivel the arm, the bicep swivel turns and not the ball joint. So it's like, what? Now they could have put a pin joint in there and just had it as a regular pivot. But I suppose because that would have meant more cost, more in the engineering by putting a metal pin in there. So that's probably why they just went for a ball joint. Anyway, so he's got elbows, he's got bicep swivels, no waist joint. He has got 5 swivels, part of the transformation. Ball jointed hips that go all the way out. They go that far forward, probably that far back. He has hinged knees, which go to just over 90 degrees, but if you flip out the cat foot, you can actually get a bit more out of it. And hasn't got any tilts on his ankles, but he has got a slight cut in them to give him a neutral A stance. So he's a really decent little figure. Now, size comparison, this guy is supposedly a Legends class, but he's actually quite big for a Legends class, I think. Let's get a Legends class guy down. So here he is next to Bombshell, and he's probably like a head taller than the regular Legends class. Have got anybody else? Not really. So he's quite large for a Legends, but I like to think he's more of a Scout class, because the Scout class is obsolete. You know, they haven't seen it in years. But this guy, when you put him next to like a Scout class figure from an earlier line, he's almost the same size. And that's what I like to think about it. Now also, this guy is a clone bot, and the clone bots have, because of this, he's got a few extra joints on him which you don't actually use in this mode, but I'm sure when Wingspan comes out, he will make use of these extra joints, most notably in his hips. Now, if I just pull the arms out, he hasn't got a waist joint, but he does have, I mean, you pull the arms, the legs out to the side like that, but if you pull them, you can see he's got this extra flip out joint. Now, the hip splits in the middle and flips outwards. Now, it's not used on this version of the mould, but obviously it will get used on the other versions somehow. However, because of this, you can get some fan modes out of him. Now, I found you can kind of get like a gear walk type thing out of him. So you can get that. Yeah, you see, you can mess around with it, and also you can kind of get a plane mode out of it. You can kind of get like a space jet out of him. So because he's got these extra joints on him, you can get some additional play value by messing around and getting some fan modes out of him. So it's a really, really neat, really cool little figure. Great to play with. I will be getting the twin packs when they come out. I don't know what I'm going to do with this guy when that happens, because obviously this guy will be surplus to my requirements when that happens. But he is really, really cool and really, really neat, and I like him a whole bunch. And he's going to be on my top bots of the year. You know, up there with Coulter. Yeah, I love this guy. He's absolutely fantastic. Brilliant little bot. A great update of the G1 clone mold. And that has been me, TFR Wilderness. That has been my review of Titans Return Siege on Cybertron Decepticon Clonebot Pounce. Hope you've enjoyed it. I will catch you all next time. Goodbye.